This video was inspired by the long and awful week or so that I was having. I'm improving now, but I thought I would emphasize something. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I wanted to set the tone by saying that I don't ever want... In fact, mental health in this community will never be a secret and it will never be a taboo thing. I wasn't feeling well. And as you could tell by the title of this video, I was feeling hopeless. Particularly, that's the word that I would use. My girlfriend Michi actually reminded me that no matter what happened or what happens from this day on, that I will always have you guys, the community we've built. And I had just temporarily forgotten about that, I guess. Financial obligations. There's weird and bad friend drama, there's trauma responses, and there's probably a bunch of other bad and nasty things that I can't think about that go on in my head. I've been through a lot of dark times in the past. I've been through it time and time again, and I mention that because despite all of that, I'm still here. So that means that every single time I've come out on top. And I should really be grateful because from this point on, and as of late actually, the trajectory of my life seems to be pretty good. It's looking really good actually. However, the point of this video is, as your friend, it would hurt a lot if I knew I could help at least some of you and I still decided to kind of just move on with my day or with my life and not say anything, because I easily could. After all, how could we call this the greatest community in the galaxy if we were not setting the standard for everyone else? So, if you're feeling hopeless, here's what I have for you. I have 3 things for you. The first thing actually comes from a reference from a book that I've been reading lately. I understand, almost halfway or in the middle of this video, and it's very different from what we usually do, but I'm sure this will help some of you. So the first part is a reference from a book I'm reading called Thinking Fast and Slow. And the first thing is that humans kind of have a tendency to give meaning to ambiguous things. In other words, we have the tendency to give meaning to things that don't even really need a meaning, or they don't have one at all, and it shouldn't have one. So whether you see a set of things like physical or metaphysical, like in your head, just treat them as such. They're just a set of things. Particularly if you're feeling negative, if you're feeling very down. I think a good analogy that I just came up with is if you were stuck in a volcano, are you a volcano? No, you're just stuck in the volcano. So the point of that analogy is, don't mistake where you are for who you are. I don't know where we learned that as we grew up from when we were little kids, but for some reason we have the tendency to do that. It seems to be a natural desire for us to kind of categorize things. The second thing that I used, a kind of a mindset that I used to help me get out of my negative spiral, is that you can choose to rebound quickly, or if you don't like rebound, you could choose to recover quickly. The truth is, the people who win in life are people who recover quickly. And I know that can kind of sound disheartening, and it really is much easier said than done. But the reason why I bring this up is because, at least for me personally, I think it's great to sit down and realize that you have options, that there's a way out, that at literally any moment of your day, your week, or the year really, any moment, you can choose to go through a set amount of discomfort in your life and it'll be all right. It'll be all right because the worst that would happen is it would just suck for a little bit because you chose to go through some discomfort. And to me, I know it might not be the same for everyone else, but to me, that gave me a lot of hope. So I hope that helps some of you out. The third and final thing is that I think one of the universal laws of life is the idea of momentum. I don't really think there's anything, or there's such thing as stagnant. I think you're either spiraling downwards or spiraling upwards. And I'm not a scientist or anything. I don't study metaphysics. I don't study philosophy or psychology. I can only give my educated guess on it. And my guess is that because of how much chaos there is going on in the world, you're subject to a current, like in the ocean or the sea. You're going to be swept away by waves sooner or later. And again, I can see how this can make someone feel bad. I can see how it would make myself feel bad as well. But that's not the purpose behind it. The purpose behind knowing that is it's kind of like a roadmap or an atlas. It's to know where you are. And again, like we talked about in the first part, is that where you are is not who you are. And again, this isn't to make you feel bad or to make anyone feel bad. It's that I think as your friend, I have a responsibility to help you see where you are, because friends do each other a disservice by letting them go down the wrong path. I call you guys my friends, and I don't even really know you personally, but in the digital space, we're all kind of, I don't know, we're all communicating. We're all in the same area, and it's a different kind of space that we all share together. Anyway, this was an off kind of video. I don't want this to be a very, for lack of a better word, a corporate setting. I also didn't want to leave you guys with something just like, hey, I think you can do it. Go do it. Like, I feel like you guys have seen so many motivational videos that it's kind of the same shit already. And by the way, when I say, hey, like, hey, partner, I think you could do it, that's a given. I think every single one of you can get through what you're going through. I always think that you can do it. But here in this community, what I want us to build is that you have more resources here than just motivation. I'll see you later. Actually, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I am uploading the first episode of a new series. I picked Cry of Fear because I think Cry of Fear is like an ancient YouTube relic, and I don't think any real YouTuber succeeds without achieving that badge of honor, right? I think we can all agree on that. I'll see you real soon.